Dragon Ball Raging Blast 2 might just be my favorite Dragon Ball game. I played it so much when it came out, and still to this day sometimes. I remember it being criticized since it doesn't have a story mode like other Dragon Ball games, but I think that's unique. We've gone through the Dragon Ball story how many times now? I think it's fine to change it up a bit. Instead of the usual story mode where it takes you through all 4 main sagas, Raging Blast 2 is drastically different. There's actually no story mode for this game. Instead, there's Galaxy mode. Every character, and I mean every character, has their own little galaxy of battle to do. Since this is the main mode of the game, we'll start here. First galaxy I'll do is Goku and go in order from there. The first fight is against Krillin, and this is just to help me get used to the game. He barely fights back. When I beat him, I get the first trophy for completing a battle in Galaxy mode. I also beat Krillin so fast that I got an S++ rank, and I get another trophy for doing that for the first time. After some fights, I'll get rewards like items, costumes, or illustrations. They're not important now, but I'll point them out for later. The main goal for each character's galaxy is to beat the boss mission. There's plenty of other fights besides a direct path to the boss mission, but those aren't needed to complete the galaxy. Obviously, because I'm going for the platinum, I'm going to need to do almost every fight in galaxy mode. Goku's boss battle is against Vegeta Scouter, and beating him gets me the trophy for completing my first galaxy. I also get a Dragon Ball for each galaxy I complete. Don't have to do anything special for it this time around. Beating boss missions also unlock fights in other galaxies, so I'll have to come back to Goku eventually since I've done every fight available and I'm only at 75%. Kid Gohan's first fight includes a perfect action list, and for these missions, I have to complete every action. I can still move on without doing it, but there'll always be an item locked behind completing these, and I need to eventually get every item in the game. A good way to know I've got everything in a battle is if cleared is in gold. If it's silver or bronze, then there's still something to collect. The biggest struggle of these missions is the opponent dies too fast. I messed up 4 times before I finally did it, and as suspected, there's the item. Kid Gohan's boss mission is against the villains of Namek, and beating them completes his galaxy. There are 66 character galaxies that I have to do, and in the interest of time, I'll try to skim through most of them. Teen Gohan's boss mission is against Zangia and Bojack. Surprisingly, it's not against Cell. Beating them completes his galaxy, and also unlocks a trophy for fighting on every map. Nothing of note happens in Adult Gohan's galaxy, besides a glitch that happened to me. I have no idea what happened, but I was thrown into an invisible wall. I've never seen this glitch happen before. His galaxy ends with a fight against Broly, then we're on to Piccolo. The first fight is against Kid Gohan, and after I beat him, I get an illustration and unlock a trophy for collecting 30 illustrations. Nothing more happens in Piccolo's galaxy, so we'll move past him and Krillin into Yamcha's galaxy. Take a wild guess who his boss mission is against. Who else would it be besides the Cybermen? The bullying never stops for Yamcha. Completing his galaxy gets me the last Dragon Ball. I can back out now and summon Shenron. When I do, I get a trophy for summoning him for the first time. I don't have to wish for anything in particular, since I'll eventually make enough wishes to have everything. The best thing to happen in Tien's galaxy is I found the I hate everything about you picture. I'm skipping Chaozu's galaxy and going straight into Vegeta Scouter. His boss mission is against Frieza, and beating him gets me a trophy for completing 10 characters' galaxies. Fast forward through the next 7 galaxies and we get to Vegito. He has a mission that took me 30 minutes, and it's not even that difficult. I basically have to survive 2 minutes while doing as much damage as I can. When I did survive, I wouldn't get a high enough rank I needed for an item, and every other time, I just didn't survive. Look at that time. Oh my god, I hated this mission. His whole galaxy took an hour, with half of that being spent on a single mission. I just wanted to share that. The next galaxy is Videl, and after a fight with future Gohan, I unlock another illustration with a trophy for collecting 100 illustrations. Next galaxy is Bardock, and his boss mission is against Frieza. Beating him gets me the trophy for completing 20 characters' galaxies. In Zarbon's galaxy, there's a mission that took me even longer than the mission for Vegito. I think it's the worst type of mission in this game. I start at near death, meaning I spawn with no health and one hit will kill me. The goal is to survive as long as I can. Getting a C++ rank isn't enough because cleared is still in silver, neither is a B rank or B+. I'm not joking when I say it took me an hour and a half to get an A++ rank. Adding insult to injury, I didn't even get an item for it. I got an illustration, which I don't need to collect all of those. I'm going to gamble and hope that every mission of this type only unlocks illustrations. Let's skip through a few more galaxies until we get to Jace, specifically the end of his galaxy. Finishing his boss mission gets me the last Dragon Ball I need to summon Shenron again. I go to do it, but instead of Shenron, Porunga appears. Every time I use the Dragon Balls, there's a chance of him showing up instead, and when he does, I get a trophy for summoning him for the first time. Skipping Godo and going to Frieza's galaxy, his boss mission is against Goku. Finishing this fight gets me the trophy for completing 30 characters galaxies. Almost halfway done with Galaxy Mode. All of the Cell Saga androids are next. The only one we'll take a closer look at is Android 18. Not in that way. She has a mission against Goten and Kid Trunks, which includes a perfect action list. I get an item from this mission, but more importantly, I also get Android 18's Costume 3. This was the last costume to find, and I get a trophy for unlocking all costumes. Cell and all three Boos have nothing special in their galaxies, so we'll skip to Broly. Only thing special here is that upon finishing his boss mission, I get the trophy for completing 40 characters galaxies. There's nothing of note happening for the next 10 galaxies, so we can just fly by those and get to Coola's boss mission against Goku. Finishing this gets me the trophy for completing 50 characters galaxies. We're in the home stretch now. A few galaxies later and we get to Nail's boss mission against both Full Power Frieza and Mecha Frieza. Finishing this fight gets me an illustration and I get a trophy for collecting 250 illustrations. The last galaxy for now is Dore and his boss mission is fitting. It's Cooler Squad versus the Ginyu Force. This is the last galaxy I can do for now since the last character isn't unlocked yet. The only way I can unlock him is by going into the museum and watching the movie Dragon Ball Plan to Eradicate the Super Saiyans. This is an OVA that was originally released in 1993 in Japan only. The OVA was added as a bonus to copies of Raging Blast 2, being completely reconstructed, rescripted, and reanimated. It was the first time the OVA had ever been released in North America and Europe. The main villain in the OVA is Hachiak, and watching this is how I unlock him as a playable character. This is the only game he's ever been playable in. That, paired with the fact the OVA was remade just for this game, makes Raging Blast 2 a whole lot more special. When the credits finish, I unlock Hachiak as a character and get the trophy for unlocking every character. Hachiak's galaxy is the last one, and like in the OVA, it's all fights against Saiyans. His boss mission is actually the same exact opponent as the end fight in the OVA. Finishing his boss mission gets me the trophy for completing every character's galaxy. Or at least it should have. I don't know why it didn't. I was looking to see if by chance I missed a character when I came across Android 13. I somehow skipped over him when I was going through Galaxy Mode. He only has a few battles before the boss battle. When I finish one of the battles, I unlock a new BGM and get a trophy for getting all the BGM in the game. The boss mission is against androids 14 and 15, and beating this mission finally gets me the trophy for completing every character's galaxy. When I get back to the galaxy map, the game fades to black and the credits start. I also get a trophy for watching the credits as soon as they start. Galaxy Mode is done, and that is probably the biggest time sink in this game. A quick trophy I can get is to check out the museum. With all characters unlocked, I can view all their profiles for an easy trophy. Next up, we're going to tackle battle zones. These are essentially gauntlets of opponents with handicaps against me. I can play as any character I want for these, so I'll change it up in every zone. The first battle zone is the Lozenge zone, with the boss being Vegeta Scouter. There's 4 opponents with no handicap against me. This is the first zone, so they're taking it easy on me. There are also stamps I can collect in these zones. They do absolutely nothing, but there is a trophy for collecting 300 of them. Each battle has its own set of stamps, with 2 always being to not use super attacks and to not have stat boosting items equipped. Any extra stamps are specific to that zone. In this zone, the extra stamp is having an item equipped that would only give me 1 health bar. These stamps don't have to be collected all at once, so I'll come back for those. For now, I'll simply do this zone with no items equipped and spam ultimates since they don't count as super attacks. I do this for every battle until I finish the zone. After beating Vegeta, I get a trophy for completing the first battle zone. I also get a title for each character I beat a battle zone with. This will help a lot for the online trophies later on. The next zone is the spherical zone, and here is where handicaps start showing up. For this zone, it's pursuit attack loss. Not the worst, but we're just starting. The good thing about the handicap is there'll always be a challenge stamp relating to having it equipped. I do the same thing I did last time and have no issues finishing this zone, though my progress is only at 66% for this zone. That's because some zones have hidden paths that only unlock if I fulfill certain conditions. This first one's easy. In my fight against Android 14, I have to beat him using a super attack. When I get back to the zone map, a new path unlocks, and I get a trophy for discovering a hidden path in Battle Zone. These new fights that open up have items I can drop from them, so I need to 100% every zone for the items. Because it's still the second zone, this isn't too hard yet. After beating PyCon, I'm now at 100% for this zone and can move on to the square zone. The handicap here is all dash key consumption up, meaning anytime I dash, I use double the amount of key. That won't matter if I stay in their face. I do the first path easily, then switch characters to do the other path. The spiral zone handicap is key charge speed down, and this is where there starts to be 5 challenge stamps available per battle. Like I said earlier, they don't have to all be done at once, so I'll separate them between the 2 paths. I'd rather get them done now than in later zones. I go through the first path with Teen Gohan, then down the second path with Adult Gohan. After the first match with Adult Gohan, I get a trophy for using every transformation character at least once. This zone also has a hidden path by beating Kid Trunks while in Raging Soul. I finished that secret path and this zone is now at 100%. The circle zone is where I start failing a lot. The handicap is rush attack down, meaning all my melee attacks do a lot less damage. I decided to be greedy with challenge stamps and put on no items except defense down. I lost at the first fight, then made it all the way to the end and lost again. I took off the debuff items and went Super Gogeta instead. I got all the way to the end boss and lost again. I then said screw the challenge stamps, put on all stat boosting items, and did whatever it took to win. Doing it this way secured the win, and I did the same thing for the other path using Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. Since it was my first time clearing a zone with Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, I got a title for it and then got a trophy for collecting 10 titles. There is a hidden path here for defeating Raccoon using an ultimate attack. I finished this path with Ultimate Gohan and move on to the Liner Zone. The handicap here is Super Attack Power Down, but there's also a stamp for equipping Ultimate Attack Power Down. So for most of this zone, I'm just going to be using these hands. I was actually smooth sailing for this entire zone mostly, besides the last fight against Kid Buu. I decided to just forego the no super attack stamp and try my best to win instead. It was a close call at the end, but I did this entire zone without any losses. The triangle zone's handicap is key consumption up, but there's also a stamp for key charge speed down, so I'll be using hands for most of this zone too. To make my life a little easier, and because I lost the first match, I'm also going to use melee boosting items. It helps until the last match, where I got whooped by Janemba. I should probably stop thinking about stamps when I'm on the last fight. I tried the other path with Super Vegito, but end up losing to Cell, so I switched to Hachiyak and spammed ultimates instead. I didn't get all the stamps, but I think I got enough for this zone. The final battle zone's handicap is unique. It changes every match. I'm not going to focus on stamps much here since these battles are going to be tough. I started with Majin Vegeta and lost on Android 16 twice. The first time, I just got beat. No excuses there. But the second time, I used my ultimate. You know, the one that kills me, and he blocked it. I thought this move was unblockable. Now that I think about it, I don't think any move in this game is unblockable. After that realization, I'm switching off Majin Vegeta and using Super Janemba instead. I put on the best items I have and actually make it to the last boss, who is of course Hachiak. I beat him with a bit of trouble and finish the last battle zone. I also get a trophy for completing all battle zones. With all 8 battle zones done, the ultimate zones have now been unlocked. Yeah, I'm not done with these zones just yet. The biggest difference in ultimate zones, besides the obvious difficulty increase, is that a time up means I lose guaranteed. That doesn't affect me too much since none of my fights have ever ended in a timeout. Luckily, the challenge stamps from the battle zones carry over, so I have a lot more chances to get more. For the first match, I don't mind greeting for all of them, but as I go, I'll care less about them. I know it's only the first ultimate zone, but I did it on my first try. The first fight was actually the closest, although I did have nothing equipped, so that's probably why. When I get back to the zone map after beating Turles, I unlock the trophy for beating the first ultimate zone. There is a hidden path here for beating Frieza with an ultimate attack. I do that and beat the secret boss because I'm the better Super Vegito, and move on to the ultimate spherical zone. The handicap here is one we haven't seen before. My health carries over between matches, so I need to try and lose as little health as possible. Because of this handicap, I'm foregoing most stamps and putting on a boatload of items. I'm doing well so far and actually find the hidden path by accident. I unlocked it by doing a 20-hit combo on Dore. In an opposite turn of events, I'll do this one first, then do the main one. I pick Super Saiyan Teen Trunks and accidentally get another 20-hit combo on Dore. So now I need to do another playthrough of this zone to get the main path, since I'm forced to go down the hidden path if I unlock it. This time, I beat Dore without doing a 20-hit combo and leave with over 3 health bars. I should be able to beat Goku easily now. Excuse me, where is my health? I had 3 health bars. Did the game glitch on me? Obviously, I'm going to lose because I'm 1 hit, and now I need to do another playthrough of this zone. Thankfully this time the game doesn't glitch on me, so I can beat Goku and finally move on to the ultimate square zone. The handicap here is super health power down, meaning no matter what items I use, I'll only have max 1 health bar. I'll just use items to start with max ki and to buff my ultimate attack. Something I've never mentioned before is this loading screen minigame. That's all it is, a minigame. I don't get anything from it like I did in Raging Blast 1. The reason I bring it up now is because there is a trophy tied to it. It's a weird one though. The trophy description says to shoot off as many balls as possible. I don't think there's a specific number I need to hit to pop the trophy. It's just keep playing the game and eventually it'll pop. While I was playing this ultimate zone, the trophy did pop after the second match. Because of me spamming Supernova, this zone is easy even though I have low health. In fact, spamming Supernova worked so well, I think I'll do it again, but with Mecha Frieza this time. Unfortunately, my fun with Ultimate stops now because the next zone has the handicap amount of ki restricted. This means I can't charge my ki enough to use my Ultimate. Many of the stamps are negative ki items anyway, so it looks like I'll be throwing hands this zone too. Actually, I take that back. I lost once and then barely won. So I think super attacks are the way to go. In the third fight, I beat Trunks with a super attack and found another hidden path by accident. Besides that mess up at the beginning, I managed to finish this zone completely with no more mistakes. The ultimate circle zone has a ton of enemies, 5 per path. I again find the hidden path by accident by beating Team Gohan with the ultimate attack. So I guess we're doing the bonus path first again. After the fight with Nizu, I only need 1 more stamp. And because I'm always guaranteed at least 1 stamp every new fight, I no longer have to worry about stamps going forward. After the next fight against Android 13, I get the last stamp I need and get the trophy for collecting 300 challenge stamps. Without having to deal with stamps anymore, these zones are kinda easy. 3 different paths, each with a different character, and I didn't drop a single game. Hopefully the last 2 ultimate zones are this easy. The next zone has a unique handicap, and it might be the worst one yet. It's a right analog stick seal, meaning I can't use any super or ultimate attacks. Guess that means I'm throwing hands again. The first fight was super close, and the next fight I got whooped. I think by this late in the Ultimate Zones, I can't be playing as just any character anymore. I'm going as one of the best characters, Super Gogeta, and sticking with him from now on. Obviously, it's a night and day difference compared to Turles. I go through both main paths easily and only need to do the hidden path now. To unlock it, I have to beat Goten while in Raging Soul. Now all that's left is the final Ultimate Zone. Like for the last battle zone, the handicaps here change from fight to fight. None of them are unique. They're all handicaps we've seen before. In the third fight against Bardock, I finish him off with a super attack and unlock the hidden path. I've done that like 3 times now, just unlocking the hidden paths by accident. I'm smooth sailing all the way to the end boss against Cooler. I'm doing good so far. He has 1 health bar left while I have over 5. I should have this in the bag. How in the hell did he just do a 60,000 damage combo? Even if I was at full health, that would have killed me. I want that run back, but first I'm going to do the main path. Not a single opponent put up a fight anywhere close to what Cooler did. Not even Broly. Hell, I even got a perfect against him. I beat Goku, beat the final Ultimate Zone, and get a trophy for completing all Ultimate Zones. Yes, congratulations, thank you. But I'm not done. I'm going back in there and whooping Cooler. I don't even know if I need an item from him, and I don't care. Yeah, suck it, Cooler. There was no item or anything for doing this path. I legit only did it because I was salty over what happened earlier. And you know what? I'm okay with that. All battle and ultimate zones are done. Except I'm going to grind the first battle zone with every character that I haven't completed a zone with yet. I said earlier that I got a title for every unique character I complete a zone with, and there's about 30 I still haven't done. The first zone is only 4 fights with no handicap, so each character takes a little less than 10 minutes to do. While doing this, I got a trophy for collecting 50 titles. It took about 4 hours to get a title for each character I was missing one with. This will help immensely with the online grind. Speaking of that, let's start the online trophies. They're a lot more forgiving than Raging Blast 1. In total, I need to collect 100 titles, but because I did a battle zone with every character, I only need to collect about 30 titles from online. There are a bunch of easy ones, like using Solar Flare 5 times, doing 5 upward attacks, and doing both 10 and 30 vanishes. After the first match, I got 5 titles and a trophy for playing an online match for the first time. For the next 9 matches, I make sure to win with Kamehameha, play as Goku against Vegeta, and not take any damage. After my 10th match, I got 7 more titles. I did more title requirements until I got a trophy for winning 30 times online. Now I just sit here and take a beating since there's titles for losing too. There's also a trophy for it, which I get after losing 5 matches. This continues until I get another trophy for playing 50 online matches. The last online trophy I need now is to collect 100 titles. Easy ones to get are for both winning and losing a beam clash, as well as doing 3 beam clashes in 1 match. Now do that same thing, but for dash clashes instead. After this match, I get 6 titles and the trophy for collecting 100 titles. At this point, all the tedious trophies are done. All that's left are the miscellaneous ones. I still don't have every item, so I need to do a bit of cleanup in Galaxy mode. I went through 28 characters' galaxies and got 100% in each of them until I got to Nell. He has a few missions to do, but the first is the worst kind of mission. The one where I start at near death and need to survive as long as possible. I failed over and over and over again until I just said screw it. I'll come back to this after I finish his other missions. The best I could do was a D+ rank. To my surprise, when I got back to the Galaxy map, I actually got an item. Even more shocking, it was my last item and I got the trophy for collecting all items. Next mode I'll tackle is the tournament mode. I need to beat both the World Tournament and Cell Games on hard difficulty. I can set the total participants to 4, so I only need to win 2 matches. To make it even easier, I can use a customized character, which of course will be Super Gogeta. My first match, I pull a Bojack and obliterate Zangia, and my second match, I pull a Cyberman and explode Yamcha. I win the tournament and get the trophy for winning the World Tournament on hard, and another trophy for winning the World Tournament on any difficulty. Now to do that same thing, but for the Cell games. I beat Zarbon first match, then Majin Buu in the final. I win the Cell games and get the trophy for winning the Cell games on hard, and another trophy for winning the Cell games on any difficulty. The next handful of trophies are all going to be unlocked in the Versus mode. First thing I'll do is equip the Super Health Power Down item on Cybermen so I can beat him faster. Then I'll turn on a second controller and do some 2-player matches. After the 10th match, I get a trophy for playing 10 2-player matches. We can turn off the second controller now and do some matches against the CPU. I will have to beat the CPU 50 times, but while I work on that, I can get a few other trophies. There are 5 trophies for beating a certain character with a specific move. The first one is to use Super Saiyan Goku and beat Full Power Frieza with Angry Kamehameha. Next, I have to use Super Saiyan 2 Teen Gohan and win against Perfect Cell using Father-Son Kamehameha, then using Majin Vegeta, win against Majin Buu using Final Explosion. This next one is kinda weird. I have to do a team battle and pick Android 17 and 18 against Super Saiyan Future Gohan and win using Fusion Technique. There's no fusion technique in their move list, so I was stumped for a bit. Then I saw they had a team super attack that I can use if Gohan is under 1 health bar. I used a super attack and had the option for Android 18 to assist me. The trophy popped before the match even finished. The last one actually feels like bullying at this point. I have to beat Yamcha using Cybermen with the Cybermen bomb attack. I didn't want to do this, Yamcha. The game made me. With these character specific trophies done, I'll switch back to Super Gogeta against Cybermen and grind out matches. Along the way, I snag another trophy for winning 20 versus matches. 30 matches later, and I get the last versus trophy for winning 50 versus matches. The last trophy is one that should be expected at this point. It's to complete the tutorial. There are 9 missions, all covering the basics of the game. After I finish the final lesson, I get the trophy for completing the tutorial, and immediately after, the platinum. According to the guide I used, this game should take around 50 plus hours to platinum. Adding up all my footage, it took me 52 hours and 32 minutes to get the platinum, so around the estimated time. It's no secret that I love this game. I think it's the best Dragon Ball game of the PS3 generation. Yes, even over Xenoverse. If you count that, since technically it came out on PS3 and PS4 the same day. This might have been the Dragon Ball game I played the most when it came out, so while my love for it is a lot of nostalgia, I still think it's a fantastic game. I'd recommend it any day of the week.